everybody, Andrew here with a Grace Students Youth Group update video. I hope that you're doing well. We have so much going on in youth group, and so just want to give a quick update on where things are at, as well as share with you a little bit about what we've been talking about so far this year. So first things first, let's get into some announcements. First thing is we had a Krispy Kreme's fundraiser, and it went so well. So many of you participated. In fact, between all the students and what our church was able to bring in, we raised over $1,000 to help get students to the different retreats and conferences happening this year. That is fantastic. Now, if you participated in the Krispy Kreme fundraiser, coming up Sunday, March 19th, is the pickup Sunday. So please mark your calendar, make sure you're here sometime between 9:30 a.m. and 12:30 p.m. to pick up your Krispy Kreme donuts. And I'd encourage you, if you're not going to church somewhere, stop by and stay with us. Our church service is from 10 to 11. So come join us and then pick up some donuts, all right? So again, that's Sunday, March 19th. Now, coming up here in April, we have our Unite Spring Retreat. That is the weekend of April 14th to 16th. Please make sure you sign up if you plan to go. Sign-ups are end here at the end of March, and they are filling up. So please try to sign up sooner rather than later. Also, payment for Unite is due at the end of March. All right, so please make sure you sign up and get your payment in by the end of March. Now, coming up this summer, we have our Momentum Youth Conference. If you are a student who is a high schooler, that means going into ninth grade this fall or older, you are invited to come join us for Momentum. It is going to be a great time. But here's the thing, if you haven't signed up yet, the cost for Momentum goes up on March 15th or after March 15th. So make sure you sign up sooner rather than later. You don't have to pay your whole ticket up front. You can put down a deposit, but by putting down that deposit, it locks you in at the cheapest price. So if you're going to Momentum, make sure you sign up sooner rather than later, because after March 15th, the price goes up. Now, I'd also encourage you, please follow us on social media. We are constantly posting updates on the different things we have going on. We're posting photos and videos of what's happening in youth group. We want to invite you, students, if you can't make it, to be able to see what's happening on a week-to-week basis, but also parents, guardians. We want to show you guys the fun and the different things that we're doing here at youth group. So I'd encourage you to follow us either on Facebook or Instagram. Both of them, it's Grace_students_New Holland. So check that out. Now, this year in Grace Students, we've had some amazing conversations. And so far, our conversations this year have been based on some of the things that the students said they wanted to talk about. Back in December, we asked them, hey, what kind of conversations should we enter into in 2023? And so this year, we've been going through some of these things. And one of the things that the students said was, hey, how do we navigate friendships and relationships? How do we have wisdom in that? So the first part of this year, we dove into a series called Jesus and Relationships, looking at the wisdom Jesus had for us as people to navigate friendships and relationships and different things. And the things Jesus had to tell us about loving others, about not judging others, about showing forgiveness to others, it is super hard. It's hard for me to do. It's hard for all of us to do. But the amazing thing is that our God has done that for us. He's loved us. He died on the cross for us. He's offered us forgiveness. And when we follow him, life is just better. With his teachings, though difficult, are good, they're beautiful, and they're wise. And ultimately, our identity isn't wrapped in how good we are. It's wrapped in the love God has given us. And so when we recognize that and embrace that, we are then free to go love others the way God has loved us. But the last 2 weeks of this series, we simply just answered students' questions, or we responded to them. And here are some of the questions that perhaps your student had. A couple of them were, what are good friendships like? Or why is friendship so difficult to manage? Or how do I deal with conflict with teachers and other adults, including parents? Or how do I deal with people bullying me at school? And lastly, how do I set godly boundaries when dating? Our students are processing life, they're thinking, they're asking good questions, and we're trying to help meet them where they're at and point them back to the wisdom of God's Word. Now, last week we entered into a new series called The Depression Dilemma. And again, this was something the teen said, hey, we notice our friends, we notice ourselves, we're struggling with depression and anxiety. What should we do? So last week, we entered into a video conversation with them. And actually tomorrow night, we have a professional counselor named Todd Henley. He's coming and he's going to share with our students. And Recently, there was a study that came out from the CDC, not a Christian organization, but from the CDC. It was their youth risk behavior survey. And this really gives a glimpse into the importance of why a conversation about depression and anxiety is important. This is a survey comparing teens from 2011 to 2021, and this is some of their findings. They said among their findings, 57% of teenage girls in 2021 reported feeling persistently, like ongoingly sad and hopeless. That's up from 36% in 2011. In one decade, it's gone up 20%. Almost 6 out of 10 girls are constantly feeling hopeless and sad. For boys, it's up to 29% compared to 21% just a decade ago. So about 3 in 10 boys are constantly feeling hopeless and just sad. They also shared that 30% of teenage girls have thought about taking their own life. 30% of teenage girls in 2021 thought about committing suicide compared to just 19% in 2011. The data speaks for itself that teens are not okay. They're struggling. They need help. In fact, I think all of us, adults alike, are struggling with mental health things, depression and anxiety. And so we want our youth group to be a safe place where our students can ask hard questions, where we can enter into good conversations. We have a blast, we have so much fun, so we can build relationships and friendships together, but ultimately so that we can go deeper into the things that are going on in their life. And ultimately, we want to point them back to Jesus. So during this conversation, happening again tomorrow night with Todd Henley coming, and then beyond that, I'd encourage you, parents, guardians, get involved in talking to your students. There are things going on in their lives. They need adults, caring adults, to be listening to them, to be speaking love into their life, to be helping to model what it looks like to be a healthy person and to follow after Jesus. And so as we go through this series and beyond, students, parents, guardians, please feel free to reach out to myself or any of our youth leaders. We want this to be a safe place where we can thrive together and ultimately help students live Jesus-centered lives. So that's what's going on in youth group right now. I hope that you're excited about the future of Grace students. I know I certainly am. But I hope you have a great week and continue coming out and supporting Grace students.